What if shedding just 10 things could lighten your load, clear your mind, and bring you closer to a life of quiet purpose? In a world constantly telling us to accumulate, to buy more, to be more, there's a quiet wisdom from Japan that offers a different path. It's not about deprivation, it's about liberation. Japanese minimalism isn't just about decluttering your home, it's about decluttering your life, your mind, your schedule, your emotional burdens. It invites you to remove the unnecessary so you can make space for what truly nourishes your soul. Now, imagine walking into your day feeling lighter, freer, and more aligned with what truly matters to you. That's the promise of letting go of these 10 things. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to start today. So, take a breath, and let's discover what you're ready to release. The illusion of perfection. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you created something? A meal? A project? Even just a simple plan? And felt it had to be flawless before it could exist? In our modern world, we're constantly bombarded with filtered images and highlight reels. We chase an ideal that's not just unattainable, but often not even real. This pursuit of perfection paralyzes us, keeps us from starting, and exhausts us when we finally do. Japanese aesthetics, particularly Wabi-Sabi, offer a profound counter-narrative. It's the beauty of imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. It celebrates the crack in the teacup, the faded fabric, the asymmetrical arrangement. It says, you are enough, exactly as you are, right now. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You don't need a flawless plan to take the first step. You don't need a perfectly curated life to be deeply fulfilled. You don't need the illusion of perfection. You just need to show up fully, authentically, and allow life to unfold with all its beautiful imperfections. Today, start something you've been putting off because it wasn't perfect enough. A drawing, a difficult conversation, a new habit. Embrace the messiness of a true beginning. Comparison to others' journeys. Think of the last time you scrolled through social media and felt that quiet pang of, am I behind? We live in a world obsessed with timelines and external validation. Someone else's bloom can make us doubt our own spring. But Japanese wisdom, particularly Ubaitori, the idea that cherry, plum, peach, and apricot trees all bloom in their own time, reminds us of a fundamental truth. Your journey is unique. You don't need to compete. You don't need to compare your inner world to someone else's highlight reel. Your path is your own, with its own unique lessons, detours, and triumphs. Just because someone else is blooming doesn't mean your season won't come. You don't need comparison. You need self-acceptance. You need to trust your own rhythm, honor your own pace, and celebrate your own unfolding story. For the next 24 hours, consciously reduce your exposure to social media or situations that trigger comparison. Instead, spend 5 minutes journaling about one unique quality or experience that makes your life rich. Unnecessary just-in-case items. We all have that drawer, that shelf, that corner filled with things we keep just in case. A charger for an old phone, clothes that might fit someday, a broken appliance we intend to fix. This habit stems from a scarcity mindset, a fear of future need or a past attachment. But this just-in-case clutter often becomes a just-in-the-way burden, both physically and mentally. It holds stagnant energy and prevents you from fully living in the present. Japanese minimalism, influenced by Danshari, the art of refusing, disposing, separating, encourages conscious evaluation. It asks, is this serving my present self? Or am I holding onto a ghost of the past or a hypothetical future? You don't need endless just-in-case items. You need trust in your ability to adapt, to acquire what you genuinely need when the time comes, and to appreciate the freedom of a lighter load now. Find one just-in-case item today that you truly haven't used in over a year. Thank it for its potential, and then release it, donate, recycle, dispose. Feel the lightness it creates. The weight of unread books and unfinished projects. Look around your home. Do you see stacks of unread books, half-finished craft projects, or online courses you bought but never started? These aren't just physical items. They're quiet whispers of guilt, unfulfilled intentions, and the pressure of shoulds. They represent a version of yourself you aspire to be, but aren't currently living. This mental clutter drains your energy, constantly reminding you of what you haven't done. The Japanese concept of Kaizen, often translated as continuous improvement, focuses on small, consistent steps. It doesn't demand completion of everything, but rather mindful engagement and progress. It implies that true learning and growth come from doing, not just accumulating potential tasks. You don't need the weight of unread books and unfinished projects as constant reminders of what you could be doing. You need clarity on your current priorities. You need permission to let go of ambitions that no longer serve you and to focus on one thing at a time with intention. Pick one unread book or unfinished project that's been weighing on you. Either commit to spending 15 minutes on it today, and only 15, or decide to gracefully let it go, donate the book, delete the course, put the project away for good. The pressure to always be on. When was the last time you truly disconnected? No pings, no emails, no social media feeds to check. For many of us, the digital world has created a relentless pressure to be always available, always responsive, always on. This constant connectivity leads to mental fatigue, fragmented attention, and a deep sense of overwhelm. We lose the ability to sit with our own thoughts, to just be. Japanese culture values the intentional space, the pause, the emptiness that gives meaning to the whole. Think of the silence in music, the blank space in a painting, the breath between words. It's not absence, it's presence. You don't need the pressure to always be on. You need intentional moments of disconnection. You need to create sacred pauses in your day where you step away from external demands and reconnect with your inner world. Schedule one moment today. It could be 15 minutes with your phone on airplane mode, a silent walk, or simply staring out the window with a cup of tea. Protect this space fiercely. Excess information consumption. From endless news cycles to social media feeds, our minds are constantly being fed information. Much of it irrelevant, negative, or overwhelming. We scroll, we consume, we absorb, often without conscious thought or genuine need. This overconsumption of information creates mental clutter, anxiety, and a feeling of being constantly behind or inadequately informed. It distracts us from our own lives and immediate surroundings. Japanese minimalism, particularly through practices like shomoji, emphasizes discernment in what we bring into our minds. It's about consuming mindfully, valuing quality over quantity, and choosing information that genuinely enriches or serves a purpose. You don't need to consume every piece of information that comes your way. You need selective engagement. You need to filter the noise, protect your mental space, and choose intentionally what you allow into your mind. Today, try a digital detox for a specific period. Edge the first hour of your day or after dinner. Notice how much more mental space you have when you're not constantly consuming. Sentimental clutter that binds you to the past. We often cling to objects out of sentiment, even when they no longer bring joy or serve a purpose. A child's outgrown toy, old letters, gifts from difficult relationships. While memories are precious, holding onto every physical memento can create a stagnant, emotional environment. These items can keep us tethered to past hurts, missed opportunities, or versions of ourselves we've outgrown. They prevent us from fully embracing our present reality and moving forward. The spirit of kintsugi, the art of mending broken pottery with gold, reminds us that while our past shapes us, it doesn't have to define us. It celebrates the journey of healing and transformation, acknowledging imperfections but not being bound by them. You don't need sentimental clutter that keeps you stuck in the past. You need to trust that true memories live in your heart, not in objects. You need the courage to honor lessons learned, release what no longer serves your growth, and create space for new experiences. Choose one sentimental item that feels heavy. Instead of just storing it, spend a few minutes actively remembering the lessons or joy it represents. Then, consider if keeping the physical item is truly necessary for holding the memory. If not, lovingly release it. The belief that more is better. From bigger houses to more clothes, faster cars to fancier gadgets, our culture constantly reinforces the idea that more possessions, more money, more experiences will lead to greater happiness and fulfillment. This relentless pursuit of more creates an endless cycle of dissatisfaction. We buy something new, experience a brief high, and then immediately begin craving the next thing. It's a treadmill we can never win. Japanese minimalism, through concepts like motai nai, a deep regret concerning waste and an emphasis on using things to their fullest potential, shifts focus from acquisition to appreciation. It encourages us to find value in what we already have and to make conscious choices about new additions. You don't need the belief that more is better. You need to recognize that true richness comes from appreciating enough. You need to cultivate contentment with your present circumstances and find joy in simplicity rather than endless accumulation. Today, consciously delay a purchase you were considering. Instead, spend time appreciating something you already own and use regularly. Reflect on its utility or beauty. Complicated routines and overscheduling. Our calendars are often packed to the brim. Back-to-back meetings, endless errands, social obligations that feel more like burdens than joys. We meticulously plan and optimize every moment, often to the detriment of spontaneity, rest, and peace of mind. This overscheduling leads to burnout, stress, and a constant feeling of being rushed. It leaves little room for the unexpected, for quiet reflection, or for simply being. Instead of rigid routines, Japanese culture often embraces ikigai, your reason for being, a sense of purpose that brings joy and fulfillment. This purpose is often integrated into life with a natural rhythm, allowing for flow rather than forced structure. You don't need overly complicated routines and packed schedules. You need rhythms that support your well-being. You need to create intentional space for rest, reflection, and activities that truly align with your ikigai. Even if they're not productive in the traditional sense, look at your calendar for tomorrow. Identify one non-essential commitment or task that you can either postpone, delegate, or simply remove. Reclaim that time for yourself the need for external validation. From seeking likes on social media to striving for approval at work or in relationships, many of us are driven by a constant need for external validation. We define our worth based on how others perceive us, rather than cultivating a deep sense of self-acceptance. This constant quest for external approval is exhausting. It leads to people-pleasing, hiding our true selves, and feeling perpetually inadequate. We lose touch with our authentic voice and desires. The philosophy of Shuhari in Japanese martial arts emphasizes a journey from learning through imitation to breaking free from forms to ultimately achieving effortless mastery and true self-expression. It's about finding your own truth, not constantly adhering to external expectations. You don't need the constant need for external validation. You need to cultivate self-trust. You need to reconnect with your inner compass, listen to your own wisdom, and find your worth from within, regardless of what the world says or expects. Today, make one choice that is purely for your own well-being or enjoyment without considering how it might be perceived by others. Notice the feeling of quiet liberation. These 10 things aren't just external items or concepts. They are internal shifts. By consciously choosing to release them, you're not just creating a tidier home, you're cultivating a clearer mind, calmer heart, and a life that feels authentically yours. Try letting go of one or two of these this week. Start small. Observe the lightness, feel the peace. So tell me in the comments, which of these 10 things are you most ready to release from your life today? And if this video sparked a desire for a life with more intention, more peace, and more you, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear that true freedom comes not from accumulating, but from letting go. Until next time, live light, live free.